Over the past several months, I've seen a lot of videos popping up on YouTube obsessing over the Nintendo Switch 2 sales. Most often from channels like Nintendine, Fritonga Plays, and other similar channels. The people that a lot of the Nintendo community like to consider grifters. I'm not here to call these channels out. Frankly, I don't really care about them too much. I feel like responding to them with, actually, the Switch 2 is selling well, is playing into their game. It's exactly what they want to hear. But recently, I've watched a few of Nintendine's recent videos out of curiosity, and there seems to be an obsession with sales. His discussion of sales definitely stemmed from the idea of wanting Nintendo to learn from their anti-consumer practices, which I definitely understand, and it's partially why I liked his channel back in April, but it morphed into a war against people who like the Switch 2. And that got me thinking, I feel like these channels view sales as some kind of validation for being a Nintendo fan. Like, Nintendo fans, and by extension gamers in general, are assumed to be like sports fans rooting for their favorite team. In this case, the Switch 2 selling poorly apparently means that we're losing. I'm not gonna deny that there are Nintendo fans out there who do vehemently care about the sales, but I honestly think that's just a vocal minority. Yeah, vocal minority. And some of them, like those accounts reporting sales to Twitter or Blue Sky, are just interested in reporting that type of news and just talking about it. But to be completely honest, for most people who have a Switch 2, I feel like the sales don't really matter at all. I feel like the main concern for me, and many others, is the games. You know, the actual point of getting a console? And right now, I feel like the Switch 2 is doing pretty well in terms of game releases. We got a new Mario Kart that's pretty fun, an excellent 3D Donkey Kong, a new Hyrule Warriors, an incredible sequel to Kirby Air Ride, and a bunch of games on the way too. I'm personally content with this lineup, even if it isn't perfect, and the beginning of 2026 is a bit light. But even then, I feel like voicing your criticisms about game releases is still more productive and meaningful than looking at sales figures all day. I feel like it's really the more important thing we can do as gamers, since this is something that we could truly and confidently give our input on. We really don't need the cosplay as investors. And I also don't need the sales of a console to validate my enjoyment of the Switch 2 and to justify being a fan of Nintendo. As long as the games are consistently good, and we see a high standard of quality across the board, that alone validates my enjoyment of a console. And so far, most of the games on the Switch 2 have been great, especially Air Riders and Bonanza. Sure, we've gotten some meh games, and some weird releases, like Welcome Tour and Jamboree TV, but generally, I've had a great time with most of the games that I've played. I can understand the concern about the sales too, because they can play a factor in the number of games and what games will be released on a system. But honestly, right now, I feel like the sales of the Switch 2 are at a point where it won't affect Nintendo's game releases. I feel like it would have to sell significantly worse to have any real effect on Nintendo's first-party lineup, especially when you consider that the GameCube had a great lineup despite selling poorly. And then the Wii U basically had the opposite issue, where its lack of games partially contributed to it selling poorly. So there is no reason for Nintendo fans to be obsessed with the sales right now. The Switch 2 could be failing at Wii U levels right now, and I would still enjoy it because of the games. I'm not saying this because I'm coping or denying the sales underperforming during the holidays. I'm just saying that because I genuinely don't care about them. I am just so done with this tribalistic game between obsessive grifters and fanboys about this console selling well or not. It's tiring, and I don't think it's worth engaging anymore, and I recommend that most of you don't engage with it either. I've already learned my lesson when arguing with people about the sales of the Mario RPGs. If any of this discussion is stressing you out, the best thing to do is just to step back and not engage with these people. Or if these channels are annoying you with all of these videos about the Switch 2 sales doing horribly, the best thing to do is click the 3 dots and press Do Not Recommend Channel. It will ensure that you won't see these people again, and they also won't get the attention that they're desperately craving from you. But speaking of games that I'm enjoying and would rather be playing than obsessing over sales, I just wanted to end this video off by talking about a game that I've really been enjoying lately, Hades 2. It's an excellent roguelike action game where you battle through different areas in the underworld. The art style is amazing, the gameplay is very satisfying, and the soundtrack is excellent, so I definitely recommend checking it out. And on the Switch too, it's also an actual physical release rather than a game keycard, and it's also on PC as well. Also, let me know what games you have been playing and enjoying down in the comments. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!